Namaste, welcome back. Today I will explain database system concepts and architecture. This comes under chapter 2. This is seventh session. First, let us see data model. Data model is a set of data structure and conceptual tools used to describe the structure of a database. If you want to describe the structure of database, we can use the data models. Example data types, what type of data. There may be integers, float, char, and so on. Relationship between the data, constraints. Indirectly, we can say that is condition. Now, features of data models. First one, it is a type of data abstraction. Already I explained data abstraction. Data abstraction means clear. What data is stored, how data is stored, where data is stored. Second one, it provides the necessary means to achieve this abstraction. It provides the tools to achieve this abstraction. Third one, it includes a set of basic operations. You know the basic operations are creation, insertion, deletion, updation, and so on. Fourth one, it allows the database designer to specify a set of valid user-defined operations. Valid user-defined operations will be designed. Fifth one, it allows the database objects. Object is the better thing. Next, database schema. In this database model, it is important to differentiate between the description of the database and the database itself. Description of the database is called database schema or also called metadata. Schema is a overall structure or description of the database. Overall structure is there in a database, that is called schema, which does not have any content in it. Simply you have to define it. That's it. You take, for example, serial number, name, course, SEM. This information about the student. This is what you have schema. Next, database instance. Database state at a specified time defined through the currently existing content and relationship, and their attributes is called a database instance. The content of the database at a particular point at a time is referred to as an instance. Schema means what here? Just to define the database. In that, you have to store the contents, values, informations. That is called instance. Now, let us see database schema versus database state. When a database is defined, assume you define the database. The schema is specified to the DBMs. You have to specify it. The database state at this point is in the empty state with no data. First, what you have to do? You have to specify the database. You have to define the database. There is nothing is there. There is no values. That is what a database state. Then after that, initially you have to give the data. Then after that, there is a new database state. If you add one record, one information, one tuple, that is initial state. That is called what a new database state, because we added only one. The DBMS is responsible for ensuring every state is a valid state. A state that satisfies the structure and the constraints specified in the scheme. Constraints is nothing but I told you, conditions. You have to give the correct structure of the database. Next. See, here the DBMS stores the description of the schema, constructs and constraints called the metadata in the DBMS catalog. The schema is called the intention of the schema and the database state and extension of the schema. Intention of the schema, you have to define it. There is no value. The extension of that, when you store the values, then it is called what? That is database state. This completes this session. See you in the next session. Welcome back. This is the continuation of the chapter 2. Here we will see different types of data models. There are different types are there. High level or object based model, data model, representation or record based model, low level or physical model. In high level, again ER diagram is there, object oriented data model is there, and the record based relational model is there, network model is there, hierarchical model is there. First we will see high level or object based data model. This model is used to describe the data and maintain a logical and view level. In this model, we do not bother about the storage of data. The main aim of this model is only the relationship between various objects. Just you have to represent the relationship between various data models, objects. There are two types of year model and object model. Year model, this is entity relationship model. In this, main components are entities and the relationship. Entities, nothing but a real world object. Concept like place, person, things. These are entities. Entity set, an abstraction of similar things. Example, car, students and so on. Each thing is there, no? That is called what? Entity. Whole thing is there now, that is called what? Entity set. Entity. An entity set contains many entities. Attributes common properties of the entity in the entity set. Relationship, specify the relationship or relations among entities from two or more entity set. Next we'll pass on to representational or implementation data models. Actually, it provides the concept that may be understood by the end user, but not for removed from the way data is organized. This end user, there are used mostly frequently in the commercial DBMS. They include relation data models such as network and hierarchical models. Next we'll pass on to low level or physical data models. It provides, actually this provides concept that describe the details of how data is stored in the computer. Here actually in physical model is there, it will concentrate on how data is stored. These concepts are generally meant for the specialists and not for the end user. End user just they can use the application. Physical data models captures aspect of database system implementation and describe how data is stored in the files by representing record format. Fixed or variable length record. Fixed record means what? Yeah, there you can store the fixed bytes information. Variable length record means based on your requirements, you can change that length of the description. Record ordering and access paths, key indexing, etc. There are two ways to look at the architectures of DBMS. They are logical architecture and physical architecture. Logical, also called a three schema architecture, also called a three level architecture. This architecture describes how the data transfers from database to user through the DBMS. You have to transfer the data from the database to database user. How it possible? With the help of DBMS. The main aim of this architecture is separation of user application from the database. Means that what here, user should not touch the applications. Just they can use the user application. This architecture divided into three levels, hence it is referred to as three schemas. Those levels are internal or physical or low level schema, conceptual or logical or middle level, third one view or external or high level. You see this figure, this first part is there now, V12 or user 1 or V12, Vn is there now. That is called what here, view or external or high level, that is. Next conceptual level is there, middle. Lower physical level is there. See, view level is there that interact with the user. That interact with the user. Conceptual level is there now. It concentrates on what data is stored by the particular user. Whatever data they are going to store. Physical level is there. It concentrates on how data is stored in the database. There are three levels here. First one, view 1 to view n is there. Na? That is called what here? View or external high level. Next conceptual level is there. Next physical level is there, then database. You see, view level interact with the user. User cannot interact with the concept level. User cannot interact with the physical level. After interact with the user with the help of view level or external level, that will be transferred to conceptual level. Conceptual level concentrates on what data is stored by the user. There are so many users are there, many users are there, number of users are there, how data is stored, what data is stored by the particular user. User A is there, user B is there, user C is there. What data is stored by the user A, what data is stored by the user B, what data is stored by the user C, and so on. That is done by the conceptual level. Next physical level is the lowest level. This is here it will concentrate on how data is stored, because there are so many users are there, many users are there, different users are there. How we can store the data? Then that will be transferred to database, because you know that many users can interact with the database. Suppose I assume I created employee details structure, I stored in database. Someone else stored the information about student. When I interact, it retrieves only employee details. It will not retrieve student's information, because that is done by the someone else. Then if E retrieve, it will access solely the information about student. That's why this architecture is very important. Next, we'll pass on to data independence. Is the ability to change the schema at one level of the database system without having to change the schema at the other level. Suppose if you want to change the schema at one level, there we can change it, but it should not affect to other levels. That is the ability of data independence. Data independence is of two types, namely logical data independence and physical data independence. First, let us say logical data independence. It is the ability to change the conceptual schema without affecting the external or application programs. See now, you got this part, logical data independence. We can change the information, data, whatever you want at the conceptual level. But it will not affect to other levels. Other levels are there. What you know? External level is there. Then as well as application programs. It will change only in that level. The conceptual schema may be changed due to change in constraints or addition of new data items or removal of existing data items, etc. from the database. Sometimes we have added something, I want to remove it, you can do it. Suppose I stored some wrong data, I want to modify it, you can modify it. This thing can be done in logical independence. The separation of external level from the conceptual level enables the user to make changes at the conceptual level without affecting the external or application program. That means what? Yeah, logical independence. In logical independence, we can change only conceptual schema. It will not affect other levels. Next, physical data independence. It is the ability to change the internal schema without affecting the conceptual and external schema. See now, if you want to change the data at conceptual, you can use logical independence. If you want to change it internal schema without affecting the conceptual or external schema, you can use physical data independence. Internal schema may be changed due to overall reasons, several reasons such as for creating additional access structure, changing the storage structure, etc. For example, I store employee number, name and pay. 1 year, 5,000. I want to change the structure. Employee number, name and pay. I want to add one more field, remarks. In that case, we can use the physical data independence. Thank you. See you in the next session. Welcome back. In this session, I will explain database languages, DBMS languages. First one, DDL, Data Definition Language. Defines conceptual schema, example, create, drop, truncate, alter statements. Suppose if you want to create it, if you want to define, name itself tells data definition language. We can define the data. Storage definition language, SDL, used for specifying the internal schema. Internal schema is there. View definition language, used for specifies view or mapping to conceptual schema. I told you already there are 3 levels, view level, conceptual level and low level, physical level. DDL is there, no? There, what we can do, we can create it, we can drop, we can truncate, we can alter. If you want to change, we can. If you want to make the changes, we can use alter and so on. Storage definition language is there, no? Used for specifying the internal schema, not for external. U definition language is there, no? Used for specifies user views, mapping to conceptual schema. You should know three levels: physical level, conceptual level, view level. View level interact with the user. Conceptual level concentrate on what data is stored by the particular user. Physical level concentrate on how data is stored inside the database. Second one, now data manipulation language, DML, allows retrieval, insertion, deletion, modification, and so on. Here you can select it, we can select a particular database, we can delete the particular tuple or record, whatever you want, we can insert the particular tuple into a database, we can update, we can changes, we can make the changes. Low level or procedural DML, there are two types. It must be embedded in a general purpose programming language. There are so many programming languages, C, C++, Python, and so on, so on, so on. High level or non-procedural DML. It can be used on its own to specific complex data operation concisely. Next, transaction control language, TCL. It is used to manage different transactions occurring within a database. See, there are so many transactions are there. That is managed by TCL, transaction control language. Example, commit, rollback, save point, statements. We will discuss later on all these commands. Next one, data control language, DCL. It is used to create a roles, permissions, referential, integrity, and so on. Example, grant, revoke statements. DDL, just only the define conceptual schema. DML allows for the manipulations. Next, transaction control language, it will manage the transactions. Data control language, if you want to access it, it has to give the permissions. These are all available different DBMS languages. Next, we will pass on to DBMS interfaces. The interfaces are the programs which convert system language to user understandable language and user language to system understandable language. See, interface means what we are given, that is in high level language. Then you have to convert that into computer language, low level language. Then when I retrieve, again low level language will be converted back to high level language. That is done by the interfaces. Here first one, menu based interface for web clients or browser. These interfaces present the user with the list of options called menus that leads the user through the formulation of a request. Menus do away with the need to memorize the specific commands and the syntax of a query language. Query that asking question and getting answers. That is done by the menu based interfaces. Form based interfaces. Form based interfaces displays a form to each user. There are so many users are there. No? It gives the separate form to each user. User can fill out all of these entries to insert a new data. or they fill out only certain entries in the in which the in which case the DBMS will retrieve matching data for the remaining entries. Here form based there is a separate forms are there for users. They can fill out, they can fill half of remaining, they cannot. All these comes under form based interface. But when a particular user retrieve, it has to give only his data, not other users. Graphical user interface, GUI, typically displays a schema to the user in a diagrammatic form. The user can then specify a query by the manipulating the diagram. In many cases, GUI utilizes both menus and forms. GUI means graphical user interface. Sometimes it works independently. Sometimes it utilizes both the menus and the forms. Most GUIs use a pointing device such as mouse to pick the certain part of the displayed schema diagram. Graphical, if you want to design something, you know that graphically we can measure the score of the cricket, anything, whatever, marks of the students and so on. Next one, interfaces for the parametric user. Parametric users such as bank tellers often have a small set of operations that they must perform repeatedly. System analysts and the programmers design and implement a specific interface for each known class of name users. Usually, a small set of abbreviated commands is includes with the goal of minimizing the number of keystrokes required for some other things, each request. That means what here? Interface for the parametric users. That is, repeatedly they want to perform some operations again and again, many times. That comes under interface for parametric users. Next, interfaces for the DBA, database administrator. Most database system contains privileged commands that can be used only by the DBS staffs. Database administrator, main aim of DBA, database administrator, maintain the data what stored by the users. This includes commands for creating accounts, setting system parameters, granting account authorization, changing a schema, and reorganizing the storage structure of database. Suppose sometimes I created something, I want to make some changes here. I will give the command to the DBMS. That is what I have given changes, so that is done by the DBA, database administrator. Thank you. See you in the next session.